everybody, today we're going to talk about all things networking. Hi everybody, and welcome back to another episode of D-LinkTV D.I.Y. I'm Mike, and I'm here to help you get more out of your network. So D-Link is known as being a company that makes wireless products and routers. Here's our DIR 825. This is a dual band 802.11n router. This is one of the bread and butter of what D-Link does. But what I wanted to do today was I wanted to go over all the different types of networking products that we make and then show you how they can be used together to create a solution that will be right for you, for the situation you have in your own home. So let's go ahead and take a look at different things and how they'll work together. So let's start with basic connectivity. A network's going to start with a broadband internet connection. You're going to have either a DSL or a cable modem that's going to come out of the wall and is going to connect to your router. So the router is the heart. It is the one that directs traffic. It's going to tell the different packets of information where to go. It's also, the firewall that's going to keep, hackers and stuff out. So at the basic level, you have a wired router. And a wired router is going to connect to your different computers and devices, using a Cat5 Ethernet cable. I highly recommend wiring anything that you have that's close enough that can be wired, because most of our routers these days come with gigabit ports, which is 1,000 megabits per second instead of, like 100 megabits per second, which is slower, or, 802.11n wireless. So that's the second form of connectivity that everybody's used to, is a wireless router. So you would have something like a USB adapter or a laptop adapter or even a PCI adapter that's installed into your desktop. And these are great. They're very convenient. So that way, if you have, a computer in a position where you can't get a cable to it, or maybe say you want to surf the internet sitting on the couch on your laptop, wireless is perfect for that. But, okay, so at my house, I have all of my computers are hardwired. I've run cables through the wall and things like that, so that they're all, getting that gigabit speed when they're connecting to, like storage and things, which we'll get to later. So there's two other forms of connectivity that we can use in this situation. The first is what's called power line. Now what this is it's an adapter that would just connect to your router using an Ethernet cable, and then connects into just a standard power outlet. On the other end, where say you have a media player or something like that, we'll get to that later, you would just have a second one of these that's connected to the outlet with an Ethernet cable running into the device. So all it's doing is it's converting the data from an Ethernet cable into, and it's going to use the electric lines that are already running through the wall, and then back again at the other end. The second option is what's called MoCA. And what this uses is the coax that your cable or satellite uses to run off of. And this can coexist on the same exact lines, just like with the power, but it's using the coax. So the same kind of thing, you would run, an Ethernet cable out of your router into this, and then out to your the coax cable line. And there's also a TV out on this as well. And then you would just have a second one of these units out by the device that you're going to use. So that covers basic connectivity options. You don't want to limit yourself to one or the other. Always think about different ways of getting your connectivity to the different devices on your network. Well, now let's talk about expanding your network. So your standard router comes with 4 Ethernet ports on the back for connecting devices. But let's say you've moved beyond that. You've added a whole bunch of computers and a networked printer and different things like that, and you've used all 4 of those ports up. Well, your option is you could get something like this, which is the DGS2208, this is an 8-port Ethernet switch. So what this will do is it will expand your network. Now, don't be confused, because you need to connect this switch to the router. So what's going to happen is when you plug the Ethernet cable, you're going to lose one of these 4 ports, and you're going to lose one of these 8 ports. So when you get finished plugging an 8-port switch into a 4-port router, you're going to end up with 10 ports, 3 on the router and 7 on the 8-port switch. So keep that in mind. You can always keep daisy chaining these together and adding more and more as your network expands. Now, the second thing that I wanted to talk about was an access point. Now, let's say you have an older 802.11g router, but you're really comfortable with configuring it, and you like the way it works. Our DI624 would be a good example. It was a good router, but it's 802.11g, and you want to upgrade it. You can go into the interface and you can shut off the wireless portion of the 802.11g router, and you could use an access point to connect to it. Or if you just have a wired router and you buy yourself a laptop that has wireless built in, but you have your router all configured with firewall rules and different things like that, you don't need to go buy a whole new router. You could buy an access point to plug into that router to make it wireless. So that's what an access point is good for. The last thing that I wanted to talk about was a bridge. Now, what a bridge is good for is if you have a wired product, say a storage device or a media player or something like that, you would connect it into one of the 4 wired ports here, and then this would connect wirelessly to either your router or an access point. So you have a switch to expand the wired ports, an access point to either add or extend wireless connectivity, and a bridge to connect a wired device to a wireless network. The last group of products I wanted to talk to you about were the more advanced products that we have that you would use on your network. One of the ones that I find to be the most important thing on my network besides my computer is a storage device like the DNS323 here. All you do is you put a couple of hard drives in it, and this can store all of your data files, your music files, and different things like that to serve those files up to other products on the network or your computer itself. Say like this media player here underneath at the bottom, this can pull the music and movies and different things off of the network attached storage device and play it onto your home entertainment system. Same with, this is like a digital picture frame here, and this can pull pictures off of the network attached storage, or through your router from Frame Channel, it can get different things like sports and weather and things like that. And then the other thing that you have here is network cameras. Network cameras use the same IP as all these other products and can watch, as security cameras, watch your house or your business. These can save and record the video onto the network attached storage. So these are the more advanced products. They're still, not that hard to set up, but they can make your network do a lot more things. So the last thing I wanted to show you, of course, was the DIR685. And what's nice about this is a wireless router. It has the digital picture frame, and on the side here, there's a hard drive that this can act as a network attached storage device. So this is kind of all things rolled into one. This would be great for somebody that has an apartment or a dorm or something like that where they don't have a lot of space for the multiple products. This can cover everything. So as you can see, there's a lot more to a network than just a wireless router. You can have storage, you can have digital picture frames, cameras. There's multiple ways of connecting to your network. You can use the coax, from your cable or satellite. You can use the power lines in your wall. It's a really a hybrid network, if you will, of all these different devices and your computer with internet access. So that's going to do it for this episode of D-Link TV DIY. I'm Mike, and thanks for watching.